Welcome back to episode 2 of the Alex Acree podcast, where we walk down memory lane with Bundy.
This is my first virtual podcast interview that I've ever done. Cheers to that, Alex.
Cheers.
All right, man.
I got some really hard water in this one.
I got some tough questions for you. Are you ready?
Ooh, just going right off of the... Hold on, what were you drinking first?
I have sparkling water with fruit.
Nice. More hardcore.
Yeah. What do you got?
Water. That's it.
This is just water as well. It's just fancier.
Yeah.
All right, man. Alex, it's been 2.5 years since we recorded the first podcast. Yeah, I am now your age. I'm older than when you were at the time of recording that podcast.
You sure?
I think so. I went back and I looked at it to see what other questions I wanted to ask to extend the conversation. And You were 28 at that point, so.
Damn. Yep, 31 now.
Yeah. All right, man. You ready to roll? Are you good? You feeling good?
Yep. We got...
Are you excited? Are you nervous? How do you feel about doing round 2 of the podcast?
Well, no, I feel real good. Got the wedding ring on, ready to go.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. A lot's changed in our lives since the last time we recorded the conversation.
Yeah.
And going back and looking at the first one, I was more like embarrassed from the amount of whiskey that we consumed and how poor like actually my train of thought was and an ability to to talk just correctly. So this one will be a sober version, and maybe it'll come out more coherently, and we can sound more elegant.
Maybe.
All right, man. Let's roll into it. Let's hope that the audio works good. I'm looking at all of my equipment, and yeah, we should be good. So like I said, Alex, it's been 2.5 years, man. On a roundabout explanation, what's happened in the life of Alex Acree in that time frame?
Moved out to Arizona was a big one. But I'm going to go a different direction because the one thing that I remember from our last video is we talked about NFTs.
Yeah.
NFTs are dead.
Yeah, they're dead in the tracks. You know what? I didn't think about bringing that point of conversation up because I just would rather bury that under the water with the predictions on that one. And I still have money wrapped up in crypto that I'm not able to get out because of the FTX bankruptcy.
I mean, how funny was that? I mean, the whole NFT thing was such a big craze at the time we were talking about it. I mean, I think I brought up how the NBA, they were literally getting into NBA Snapshot.
Yeah.
You know, and you could buy a freaking NBA player like LeBron dunking it or whatever. And so I was just listening to Pat McAfee the other day, and he was talking how he owns like LeBron James. He's like,
is he still about it, or is he like, this is kind of
real?
Yeah.
But, like, he was just making jokes about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was funny. It made me think of how we talked about it. Like, I think I made a joke about it was going to be like Beanie Babies or something like that, and then somebody else brought up Peter Schiff, that guy.
Yeah.
I think he even brought it up.
I think that your prediction on Beanie Babies was probably the best one of it being a fad and it going out real quick. So maybe we got to take more advice from you on investing and purchasing.
I don't think so.
You saw through all the fluff and the BS, man. That's for sure.
Yeah. But I guess to go on top of that, do not look for me for investing advice because, I mean, moving to Tucson, the market's insane. But other than that, I mean, it's freaking beautiful out here. Since we got married over Thanksgiving break and stuff, you know, my dad already sent me a video of it snowing
Yeah.
in Tiffin. It was coming down pretty good. I think he got a couple inches.
Yeah.
And
sure.
he's like, screw this, book me a flight, I'm coming back.
Yeah. Are you so man, like aside from the weather, you've been out there for just a year now, exactly, right?
It'll be exactly a year, like December 10th or 11th, something
Yeah.
like that.
Right around the corner.
It's late November right now, so yeah, we're coming up on a year.
How's that feel? Like what else is like has been great about that decision to move out west?
Oh, just there's so much public land out here, so right away it helps that we have friends that got into dirt biking and stuff, and I wanted to get into that in Ohio, but you only drive around on the road. That's what you're stuck with.
Yeah.
So coming out here, got a little dirt bike, so it allows me and Halle to just mess around on all these trails that we have 15, 20 minutes away from us. So I got a big adventure bike. I got a smaller dirt bike that we can both ride, but she'll just follow me around, and I mean, it's a blast. And then I can just follow my buddies when they have their dirt bikes. They're way faster than me, but I wish I would have taken some, like me and Rob even talked about, like we need to just hook up some GoPros just to get some footage of what we're doing around here, just so when people ask, like, hey, what do you do in the desert? It's like, oh, this is what we do. Not just sit at the pool every day, but which we did a lot of. I was 110 out.
We've had this conversation before about you getting a GoPro, man. Just get a GoPro. They're not that expensive.
That's the bad part. Halle's got a GoPro.
Yeah.
I just need to take the time and hook it up and mount it to my helmet.
Yeah, but you can get a little newer one. You can that way, because she has an older one that doesn't have like the back screen to see like what you're recording while you're recording it, right?
True.
So like the newer ones are a little nicer because you can position them and like you'll know what the framing looks like. Or if you really want to splurge a little bit, like the newer models have the crazy stabilization, and like that way when you're bouncing up you're bouncing up and down, and you'll have that super smooth footage. But even then, man, it's like $400. You just paid that for a watch.
Yeah, I got my money wrapped into 3 motorcycles, so. So what I did is I had a Triumph Tiger, brought that out, sold it, and then I was able to use that money to buy 3 older bikes. Got an old Goldwing, big old couch on wheels, so me and Halle can just bop around. I take that to work too. And then I got a KLR 650, which is similar to my very first bike. It's just a big adventure bike. I mean, it doesn't do anything well, but just good enough. Gets you from point A to point B, whether it's on the road or off-road. And then I just found a little Honda 230 that we're able to screw around on, and it's a blast. Her brother Dirk stayed with us for a few days before the wedding, and I took him out, and he was out zipping around, blowing past by me because I'm on this fat pig of a bike. And if I get in any sand, I'm, swerving back and forth and dumping it and stuff. But it's fun just because there's so much public land out here and public trails compared to Ohio. Mm-hmm. Everything is farmland or people's woods. And if people do have trails built up in their own woods, you can, zip around it in 5 or 10 minutes, like, going back behind Cookie's house. You can just ride around a few times and you're like, okay, that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little different when you can keep going for miles.
Yeah. Yeah. And I actually did get kind of lost the other night because I couldn't find the right cattle guard gate to go through. And so then I found a gate to go through, but it was padlocked by the owner who lived on the one little corner, and I couldn't find my way back. It's getting dark. So I had to sit in front of his house and literally beat my horn. Beep, beep, till he came out and he was pissed at first. He thought I let his cows out.
I was just gonna say, was he angry? But it was just because he was worried about his cows.
Yeah, because they let them roam out here, you know, anywhere they want, kind of thing. But there are gates and fence. I couldn't find the gate to go back through, so once he understood that, no, I did not let your cows out. Any gate I go through, I close. And then he's like, oh, okay. Then he let me through. It was all good. But I was like, it's getting dark out here, and I don't want to get stuck and have to spend the night in the freaking desert.
You got any?
Not that I was that far away.
You got any backup safety gear in the bike if that happens? Like any sleeping bag or stuff? No.
But luckily, I mean, I was just on the other side of town. Like, I could see town from where I was.
Yeah.
But I called Rob because I was like, hey, I don't know where I'm going. He's like, oh, just go back the way you came. I was like, it's getting dark. I don't know where I'm going. That's the problem. And so he was actually going to come out and get me and show me the way.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, I got out before he started getting onto the road anyway. But he was like, yeah, I was going to pack a tent. We could just camp out there. I was like, yeah, that'd be fun. But I'm good. I got out. I'm going home.
Yeah, if you can. Yeah, those things are better to plan anyway. And then, doing it last minute. Dude is
so excited to ride out at night, though. He was pumped. He was like, yeah, I want to ride at night. That sounds like fun. I'm like, no.
This doesn't sound like Alex. Alex is usually always down. That's what everybody always says. What's going on? You getting old?
Yep. I mean, once you hit 30, dude.
Yeah.
Well, and it was a week before the wedding too.
Okay.
So, gotta play it safe, be responsible. I don't need to be, trying to fix my shoulder or something stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, have your, Jesus Christ, yeah, have a broken arm or something. That would be pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. Even when I had Dirk out riding, he made a joke like, oh, better not kill myself before the wedding. I'm like, yeah, no kidding. You're our efficient.
Okay, man. Like I said, I went through the last podcast. Sounds like Arizona is going great for you. I've got a list of 8 questions here that I wanted to extend more on, digging a little deeper and trying to ask a little more eloquent questions and maybe get, not whiskey brain answers. That's the goal for this, I guess. So some of them are I am gonna admit, I'm looking at them here. There might take some a serious thought from your end. Okay, if that's all right.
All right.
So,
I'm not sure I agree with it, but okay.
The first one for you is, do you think that there has been any major pivotal moments from your early childhood that has led you to your path that you're on today? Can you think of anything from when you're a kid in elementary at all that led to hey, I'm married to Halle now and I'm out in Arizona? Does anything come up in mind when I ask that question?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing, she started gaining interest in Arizona when she first came out in 2017 or 2018. She had a trip with her friends and came out to Phoenix, in December or something like that. And obviously the weather being as warm as it is, it'll get up to 70 degrees and sunny still in December, on certain days. So, that piqued her interest. Mm-hmm. For me, my interest started as far as going out west. It wasn't particularly Arizona, but just going out west. I would have to, I don't know how to put this, but I guess my first inspiration would be my Uncle Mike, and he's the one who was living out in Washington. And I kind of it's not like I got to talk to him too much. I mean, it'd be like a few phone calls here and there. And I would, just especially I think once I graduated high school, would call him up maybe once a year and just see how his schedule was doing, seeing if I could, figure out a way to go out there for a summer or something like that. Because I would always hear stories from my dad, and all his stories just sound incredible. He would be riding horses for like 2 or 3 months straight. And I don't know if it was because they were like actually taking people out horseback riding, if it was a side business, I can't really remember, or if they were actually herding. Like, I'm not exactly sure why he was riding around all the time, but I always enjoyed hearing all the stories about how my dad's riding horses up in the mountains in Washington and just all that kind of stuff. Because he spent, I think, 2 summers in high school out there living with his brother Mike.
Nice.
And I think I looked up to those guys so much just from their stories. And I would say that's probably where I got my inspiration for wanting to go out west. And it just never worked out because Uncle Mike was always doing a bunch of construction jobs, working in Montana. I think he did a lot of excavating. And so he was always all over the place, and summertime is going to be his busy time. So it just never really worked out. And then he passed away suddenly back in June. And it just, kind of came out of nowhere. And even though I didn't get to talk to him that much, like, it hurt a lot, surprisingly. And then I kind of figured out, like, it's because I looked up to him so much just because he moved out west when he was in high school. And he's been out there, and, he just, even just getting to talk to him on the phone or seeing him, like, every 5 years, it was always just so much fun to get to talk to him, hear his stories, hear other people's stories about him. And so then I was lucky enough to, in September, go with my parents, went to visit my Aunt Bev, and they had a great celebration. I got to sit around and talk to, Mike's friends and one of his coworkers, and just got all these awesome stories on his life, how he treated people. I mean, just an awesome guy. So I can kind of pinpoint just, I guess, throughout my childhood, hearing my dad's stories, talking to Mike, and that's kind of where it all, I guess, started.
That's awesome, man. From. And that's crazy that somebody, if you think back like that, and like you said, affecting his passing, affecting you so much, just from a secondary connection, just through stories and having that inspiration. That's awesome. And like that sticking with you for 30 years. That's insane. Do you think that, like, aside from like just moving out west, is there any other memories that might come up early from your childhood, like specifically on just shaping who you are today?
I mean, I guess just coming out here that it was a big step.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me and Halle, we were dating for 2 years at that point, just got engaged, and, small town kid, just, like, all right, let's pack our shit up and go. That's big. I guess it's just, having it helps having somebody in your corner and you're going on a trip together.
For sure.
I mean,
for sure.
I don't think I would have been able to do this by myself, but why I didn't while I was single.
Yeah.
So I give Halle all the credit for getting my ass out here for sure.
Yeah, your ass would be, you're too content. You'd stay in Castalia for the next 50 years of your life just because you were fine with it. Rent was cheap. I know. That's what I'm saying. You'd just be like, "Yeah, life's good, so I'll just stay here."
I mean, I was fishing with, and then my dad got a boat. Hard to complain, but no, I mean, I'm all the credit in the world to Halle to get my ass out here because it's awesome. I would have never done it. So she gave me the push that I needed. Give me that little kick in the butt.
That's good, man. Sometimes that's a good thing though. And then just, you more than anybody rolls with the punches, of life and just kind of, okay, we're here now and you're going to make the most of it. I mean, that's my impression of you for sure.
Oh, thanks.
And then it's gonna take Halle to somewhere else down the road to make that next nudge for you, or else you're gonna get too content again.
Probably. I can always, I don't know. It always seems like wherever I'm at, I can always find this place is great. Doesn't matter if I was in Castalia, it could be. Okay, raining sideways, I'd be like, okay, this sucks.
Yeah.
But I guess you just find something to look forward to. It's all right, we're going to go play basketball, on Wednesdays or something like that. Definitely miss the boys. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there's always things to miss, but then the same thing with us coming back to the States a few months ago, you make the most of your environment and it's like, well, this is where I'm at. So why am I, there's no sense in trying to plan, I need to be somewhere else right now. It's like, well, I'm here now. So that's what it is and make the most of it. So, yeah. And then you don't want to think too much in the past either, of, man, I wish I was there right now. Because you're also not there, so.
Yeah, my dad's pretty good at giving me FOMO as far as the fishing part goes.
Yeah,
for sure.
You don't want okay. Here's the solution for that. You buy a boat out there, and then you.
No, that's dumb. For one, then I need to find a place to park it.
True.
And all that stuff. And in the driving, you gotta drive pretty far to find any good lakes for fishing. So I mean, as far as that goes, Lake Erie has spoiled us. I mean, it's crazy. You got the freaking party islands, amazing fishing for walleye and perch. Yeah, it's just crazy. How spoiled living that close to the lake is, you know.
Yeah, and it's a thing
in the regards to boating during the summer.
I was gonna
obviously,
say, it's good.
In the wintertime, it's a little harder.
I was just gonna say, it's a thing that most people take for granted. I don't go fishing, but we do live close to the lake, and it's not like I'm making that many trips up to the lake ever. And there's plenty of things to do. You just gotta find it and go seek it out.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I guess from a environmental standpoint too. All the fresh water you could ever want. If shit hits the fan out here, it's like, well, looks like I'm gonna shrivel up.
Yeah.
So.
100%. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to think about it like that.
Yeah. We got the maybe there's the golden ticket up in Ohio. That's just what people tell themselves. I'm not 100% sold on that one.
Yeah, you're not sold on it yet.
I think the next question that I have is, I asked about your early childhood that might have influenced your life. Roles reversed now of you being the elder man that you are now of 31 years old. Looking back now that you've lived so much more of your life, how would you describe your high school and college days now that it's so far in the past?
They're hilarious. I mean, the shit we did, man. I'm so freaking funny. I mean, we send stuff back and forth all the time of like what we find in our vault of a thumb drive or on our computer or something. I mean, so many freaking funny moments. I just think how lucky we are to for the group of friends that we have.
Yeah.
My God. I would shout out names, but there's too many. I would miss some people.
True,
and then,
that's true.
Yeah,
That's
like,
true.
there's
You don't
just
want to
so many.
forget somebody, because then after the fact, then like we would be done with the conversation, and then you would think of a memory of how awesome it was, and you didn't mention it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love it when we're passing old pictures back and forth of just, oh, here's I'm gonna throw out some names. Here's Lucas passed out on a couch.
Yeah.
Here's Coon ripping a cigarette. I mean, gosh, they're just so freaking funny. They're so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, and yeah, just it goes back to the band Acree days, you know, and me and Sandra, where it was just us two, and we're playing in our college house in Tiffin, you know, and we're like, oh yeah, let's play for like an hour or two for, I don't know, was it Dylan's 21st birthday or something? Dill Reisner and
I don't know if I was there.
I can't remember. Maybe it was like a Christmas party.
Yeah.
We played for like a couple hours. We all went to the bar, went to the viaduct, come back, and then the next morning, you know, you wake up early. That's the crazy part, is we were able to wake up early, and then we would just talk and bullshit and reminisce on how the previous night went.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then
It's funny to
then
think,
I think
yeah.
it turned into you guys got a hold of the instruments, and we all started
Oh, that was the next day.
playing random stuff. Like,
Yeah.
it sounded horrible, but we do have a video where we're like playing along with a song or whatever and just acting like total morons, and it was so fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah. Dude, like you said, I think just memory after memory, and it's getting weirder for me to like have those memories and think like, holy shit, that's like almost been 10 years ago.
Yeah,
And
crazy.
even that one is coming up on being a while ago of that jam session.
Yeah, that had to have been like right when I graduated. So that would have been 2015. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's coming up on, it's 8 years. It's coming up on 10 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And it's yeah, like I think the way you summed it up is the best. Just awesome memories. That's what you look back on. And
Oh yeah.
and nobody can take those away. You know, that's just gonna live there forever. Would you consider the good old days, or how would you describe it? I guess.
No, I don't like the good old days.
I was just thinking the same thing, because that came to mind when you were talking as like a phrase people say, but then that's also like, I'm not like envious of those times either. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, man, that was the best time of my life. I don't think I have that perspective.
No, I can't. Yeah, I can't say it's the best time of my
You
life.
you better not say it, right?
It was a hilarious time though.
You can't say the best time because you just got married a week ago. Halle will watch this and be like, the best time of your life better be right now.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah. Halle got me out to Arizona, and we got married in the desert. It was freaking awesome.
Hell yeah. So life in high school and college was hilarious. How would you describe your life right now?
Just a lot of fun, and also trying to plan for what's next, and that can be whatever it is. It can be kids, house, what honeymoon we want to go to. We're trying to do Bali. We're just looking at flights tonight, so we're trying to figure that out.
Let's go. Hopefully it works out, man.
Yep. And there's just a lot of good things to look forward to. So very blessed for sure, because you know it is hard being away from family for sure, but if we need to, we can always come back. You know, little Anna Rose is growing up. She's a year old.
Yeah.
And seeing videos of her, you know, it's great to have, you know, our phones, social media, so it doesn't feel like we're missing out as much. But staying in the Airbnb with them, with our whole family over the wedding week, it was awesome because, you know, we got to have everybody in one place. We don't get to do that a lot anymore with, you know, my brother, Aaron and Becca being out in Salt Lake City. So, I mean, it's just everybody's kind of doing their own thing, but it's real easy to get back together, and it's just like it always was. So, yeah, just very lucky, very blessed to be in the situation that we're in. We're able to have all this fun out here and enjoy the environment we're in right now, and we have good friends in Tucson, good friends in Phoenix to help us out. We can fly up to Salt Lake to see my brother.
100%, man. Like, not to interject too much, but it just made me think of how lucky we are today with the ability to stay connected to our family and friends. Whereas, you know, you brought up the story of your Uncle Mike. Like, just think when he moved out west, how much more disconnected he would have been than we are now. Like,
Yeah.
just without technology, or like the price to travel was way more than it is now.
Yeah.
And like every now and then, if you look at flights, you know, oh shit, I can fly somewhere for very, very cheap.
Yeah.
And we're able to take advantage of that. And then like with us going to South America and stuff, of, you know, us meeting people on the road who were backpacking 25 years ago, and how much more of a risk someone's taking back in the day, like without a smartphone. You know, you have GPS, you have cell phone data now, and you know where you're going. And back then it was, you hopped off the plane and you got on a bus and you hoped you fucking made it somewhere you're supposed to go.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. And it's like, damn, dude, we are so soft, even in comparison of like, but like it also gives us an advantage to, you know, feel more people are more confident to make those changes and go do other things.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, you can get GPS on these little freaking watches. It's crazy.
Dang, dude, that Garmin's looking pretty good.
Oh, yeah. What up?
Join the club. You got to send a photo to George and Dirk. They'll appreciate that you're in the Garmin club now.
They'll probably still give me shit because I didn't get the exact same one as you guys.
Yeah, that's probably true, but
Instinct or nothing.
Dude, the background looks good. Where are you at?
Shrubbery in here.
What is this? Is this your porch?
Yeah, little patio. Whatever, balcony.
Nice. It looks good. Is it big?
Yeah. Got no, not overly big.
Oh, hell yeah, that's nice though.
Yeah, no, it works out great. We got this little propane burner. I got like a mini grill hidden under here, you know, that way if I need to grill something up. Yeah, and like just a little couch. A lot of stuff out here left over from the wedding. But yeah, we got some plants. So
it's a good background. It's a good podcast. I think maybe you need to start the Bundy Acree podcast out in Arizona.
Nah, I like being a guest on Paper Mountains.
All right, maybe one day I know this was brought up when we were doing the first episode. We just do our own spinoff show. Maybe one day.
Yeah, we did Coffee Talk. That made it like 2 episodes, and that was it.
Yeah, that was first actually.
Oh, that's true. It wasn't a spinoff. That was that. Oh, Paper Mountains is a spinoff.
Yeah, the Coffee Talk was the inception.
Dude, that trip, like crazy. That was 2018.
Colorado, 19.
19. Okay, so
Still.
Funny story. So dude, why do you think I like being on your videos? You put me out there, and Halle saw the video, and she's like, he looks fun. So you help me out, man.
Dude, I've been going through some archival footage and stuff, and you're everly present, and when I look back on photos and videos that I've made, it's funny. And a lot of people tell me that. They're like, man, Bundy and you guys are the duo, right? For all your videos and photos that I've got. And I don't know. Yeah, we just got to keep that going.
Yep. Gotta come back around.
We'll think of another good idea. One of these days, we'll do something. We got to make a bang. What are my questions here? Okay. My next few questions are tied to very specifically to the biggest moment of your life of last week.
All right, let's do it.
Obviously, I don't know if we mentioned it specifically in this conversation, but you got married on Monday.
Yep.
Big day, awesome wedding, like you said, out in the desert. And let's go through that memory lane up to that moment a little bit. Can you explain your story with Halle? How did you guys first meet?
Yeah, it was 2014. She's actually got a whole shirt that I need to find her shirt. It's funny. It's good. So,
throw your phone.
Hey Miko. Hey buddy. This is another guy. Look at that cute face. Her matron of honor made a sweet shirt for her bachelorette party. So, does it show up correctly, or is it not going to? Does it show like backwards?
No, it shows up correctly.
Oh, nice. So, if I have it framed right, it has a whole list.
That's awesome. Yeah, zoom in go in just a little closer because I can't quite read the dates. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's awesome, man. Findlay, Ohio, 2014. Fort Laramie, 2018, first kiss. That's awesome.
Yeah, so this is a great outline for the conversation.
I do recall. I'm not sure if that first kiss is a good story. If that should be on the shirt or not.
Why? What's wrong with it? It's a great story.
Explain. Go through on a high level of that shirt, then, man. Like, so you guys met in 2014. First kiss, nothing really happening there's a 4-year gap there. So like just briefly go through that whole story.
Yeah, well, when we first met in our internship, she still was with her high school boyfriend. And then a couple years later, I had work training in Chicago. So I reached out, hey, what's fun to do in the city in Chicago? And then I remember she said she would show me around. We got some pizza. And I was like, hey, how are things going with so-and-so? And then she's just like, well, I'm single. I was like, oh, okay, never mind. Like, we don't have to talk about it, obviously. Don't know you that well at that point.
When was this?
So, I was working for Applied, so that would have been like 2017, 2018.
Okay.
Because that first kiss shirt, that said 2018, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so she had only been single for a couple months at that point, right? So I'm like, well, I don't have a shot in the dark anyway, because what single girl living in Chicago is gonna, take a chance from a little country boy back in Ohio? Like, that's boring.
Yeah. Come on, man. You gotta put yourself up higher pedestal than that.
I'm realistic. I'm realistic. Anyway. So then that's when I had somebody's extra country concert ticket. I said, hey, here's a ticket. If you want to go, you can buy it from them. She's like, yeah. And then I just followed her around like a freaking puppy dog at country concert. And then her friend at the end of the night was egging me on, like, you should kiss Halle. And I'm like, yeah. Went in all confident. It did not work because she did one of those. So that was our first kiss, even though it was not very legit, but it's still a good story.
Yeah, I like how it counts. It's on the shirt, so that means it's forever. Like that's classified.
Yeah, exactly. It counted.
So
even though I mostly got like I think she covered her lips entirely, so I just like her skin.
Yeah.
But it makes for a great story. You know, I apologized the next day and stuff like that, and you know, it all worked out. Obviously,
You must have ignited some spark. What's next on this progression? How's this roll out until the marriage?
So after that was 2018. So then, yeah, just kind of like keeping in touch a little bit, you know, over just like sharing Snapchats, probably just liking her Facebook, probably creeping on her Facebook page, seeing what she's up to.
I was just gonna say
that was
creeping.
probably a lot of it.
Yeah.
She's got these big blue eyes. They're easy to look at.
Would you say would you call this a love at first sight? Were you in love, Bundy, the whole time?
Oh yeah, it was when we were watching the Browns and Bengals together. That was like, she's awesome. But that was during our internship.
Yeah. So that
So it was,
really that moment, how
it was like, oh yeah, it was. I can go back. I remember watching the Browns and Bengals play, and I think I even remember just looking over like, dang, she's awesome. Of course she's taken. It was one of those thoughts.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's awesome now though, you know, thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
What a journey, man.
Yeah, I remember it was because we were all out for some, you know, one of those networking parties that Marathon puts on, and I remember, we went to the whole networking thing, and then everybody kind of split off and went to bars. So our marketing crew all went to one bar where the game was playing, and everybody else was maybe singing karaoke or doing something, I don't know, and us two kept checking out the game, talking shit. It was fun, and you know, I love talking shit, so it's like my favorite thing.
You guys started dating officially, what, 2019? 2020?
2020 is all COVID.
So COVID is the official ignition.
COVID did it.
Okay.
Yeah. So after country concerts, 2018, right? And then we're up to early 2020, like before COVID, February. That's when we went on that ski trip to West Virginia, right?
Yes. Yep. February 2020.
Yeah. So out of the blue, I don't know why I thought it was a good idea, but I was like, man, if it works out, great. I invited Halle to come along with us.
Yeah.
And she's like, that sounds like a lot of fun. When is it?
Tomorrow.
I was like, we're leaving tomorrow. She's like, oh, yeah, well, just give me more of a heads up next time, and maybe I can go. I was like, oh, all right. She didn't say no. Just she couldn't.
I understand. Like, it's a funny, you know, there's a lot of people who'd be like, you're crazy. Like, why would you ask somebody to go tomorrow? But I don't know if, I mean, that's you, dude. Like, because if somebody asked you to go skiing tomorrow, you'd be like, yeah, fuck it. I got nothing going on. Can you pick me up? Let's go. And that's how you would respond.
Plus that was my job too, right? All you can get told is no.
Yeah.
I'm so used to getting told no. So what's the big deal?
Yeah. No, for sure, man. It's funny, you know, because like most people would be like, why the heck would you do it? But I get it 100%, especially from your position.
Yeah. So luckily, couple months later after that, right, COVID shuts down Chicago, and that's when I just, you know, kept texting her a little more. She's bored at home with her roommates. She starts texting me back more. All of a sudden, it's like paragraphs.
Nice.
It's like, hey, whenever you come back to Ohio, let me know, because it's not shut down here as bad.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
got the state parks, Lake Erie, kayaks, you know, take the ferries over to the islands, all that stuff. So yeah, that's why then our first official date was Catawba Island, because Twin Oaks was actually open and they started doing the outdoor dining. And so when I think back to that, it's like, what a like crazy different time we were in. Just in that, even though it only lasted like, it was what, hardcore for like maybe a year.
Yeah.
Or so.
Yeah.
I mean, Chicago was way worse. It lingered on till early 2022, I think.
Yeah. I mean, dude, like if you're being honestly, like there's still like stuff lingering about how culture and society's changed from that. You know, it's never going to be back completely what it was before just because of that experience. But yeah, like really hardcore in Ohio, you know, probably for a year.
So we were at Twin Oaks. We're outside. It's shitty out. It's drizzling, 50 degrees, overcast. But who cares? We're having dinner. So it's awesome because we haven't been able to do it in so long, you know? So they already had the QR codes ready to go, and you could put in your order, and, you know, the person wouldn't come up and take your order. They would only serve it to you. And they had their mask on. You know, you're allowed to take your mask off once you sit down, all that crap. And just crazy to think that's how it started.
It is. Dude, it's like, you know, it's so circumstantial, but that's like everything. But like that one's so vivid in everybody's memory of, you know, this outside force. The whole world had to suffer for you to find the love of your life, Alex.
A price has to be paid.
Yeah. God saw these stars aligning, and, you know, everybody else had to just deal with it to make sure that you and Halle could get together.
Somebody was looking out for us. They're just like, sorry.
Yes. But no, I mean,
we gotta shut down the whole world to make this happen. But I mean, Halle's got quite a few friends that all found their future husband, wife because of COVID.
Really?
Yeah, it's like they got out of, maybe it was like always living the single life, or maybe they got out of a relationship because they moved, you know, had to move in or get stuck with them, so they broke up, but then found somebody else. Like, yeah, like she has a handful of friends that is like all the same thing as what happened to us.
It makes sense, but I wouldn't have assumed that, I guess, about COVID. But I wonder if those numbers are high across the board of like serious relationships being found because of, you know, the connection I found her in that situation.
Yeah, I'm sure what helped is people probably had to spend a lot of time, you know, with their significant other.
Yeah.
And figured out pretty quick, oh, this is not good.
Yeah.
And then it changes.
Whereas I don't want to spend time with them, and I have to spend time with them.
Yeah, exactly.
So you knew from day one. Do you have any idea maybe when Halle knew, like, that you were the guy for her?
She did say something. It was when she took me to meet her dad. And me and her dad hit it off. I mean, it's pretty easy. Rodney likes boating, fishing, hunting. I like those things too. So, but she said when how well we were getting along, she was just like, oh my God. Yeah, she just made her feel good about me, I guess. Yeah.
That's awesome. What's so what'd you guys all do to, like, did you do any traveling together outside of like going back and forth between Chicago and Ohio? Did you guys make any trips together?
Yeah, with you.
I obviously that's why I was asking. I was just like thought as I was asking the question, was like Peru like a very big trip for you guys to do together?
Oh, for sure, because it was the first time both of us have really been out of the country, because you can't really count Canada.
Yeah.
I mean, you go over to Niagara Falls, you hang out for a little bit, you come back, and I think she went over there for one of her AAU track tournaments.
Yeah.
So, and she's busy getting ready for a race when she's a kid, rather than, getting to explore or anything like that. So, yeah, we didn't really count, going to Canada as like our first trip by any means. So Peru was definitely a huge step. Now, it didn't feel like a big step because we had you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are the best travel agents ever. I mean, have you guys who are already seasoned vets in navigating. You guys had everything planned out for us. It was just show up.
Yeah.
And we could just tag along. I mean, you and Morgan killed it. It was awesome. Like,
that was a fun trip.
Amazing.
It was a fun trip. The only thing is I wish it was longer, but it was fun. Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was a good time.
For sure. Yeah. We'll never forget it. I mean, getting to see Machu Picchu, but yet we also get to party with each other and find a random band in a random outdoor restaurant in Cusco. I mean,
yeah.
You put Machu Picchu and then that, night where we got to party, that's like two best moments ever. And we get to do it with everybody that we care about. Yeah. I mean, it just...
Yeah. Dude.
Hands down, one of the funnest times.
Yeah, what a moment, and that would be another memory to look back on of how, incredible that was, and like situational to how it lined up and worked out for everybody to go there. So, hell yeah.
Incredible.
That's life. And so shortly after the Peru trip, I guess, was that the proposal? Did that come not too long after?
No, when was Peru? I actually can't remember now. Was it 2021 or 22?
July of 22.
Okay, so we were engaged in March of 22.
Okay, so you proposed first.
So it worked out really well because she had planned a going away party. We talked about her moving in with me because we made a deal. She was like, well, what are we going to do about our living situation? She tried to get me out to Chicago. I was like, I don't really want to do that. And she's like, well, I'm not ready to come back to Ohio. And I was like, okay, well, what else is on the table? Or she brought it up or something like that. And it came down to, she says, well, I would really like Arizona. And I said, well, we both have friends out in Arizona. Let's go visit we had visit Rob and Jenny. And then we also met up with her best friend from high school, Kate. And so it was, all right, well, let's start looking into Arizona. And so it came down to, all right, you move in with me. We'll live in Ohio for 6-8 months, whatever, save some money. And then we're going out to Arizona. So I was able to time it up to where her last weekend in Chicago, her second to last weekend in Chicago, I proposed, because that proposed to her on a Friday night when I got there, because then Saturday night she had planned a little going away party. And I'm like, oh, this is perfect. She can then show off that ring and she gets to see her friends and tell her friends in person that she's engaged, rather than, just the typical posting it over social media, talking on the phone, whatever.
Yeah.
She can see all her Chicago friends. They had a bar lined up. They had like a private room. So it worked out awesome. So she planned her own engagement party without knowing it.
That's awesome. That's such a smart thing to do.
Yep. And then the very next weekend, we moved her to my place in Castalia.
And then she second guessed everything.
It was a busy 2 weekends, but it was fun. It was well worth it for sure.
Yeah, and you thought for a moment she was gonna stay in Castalia with you forever.
Again, I was gonna be okay with it, but no, obviously, super happy that she got my butt out here.
That's awesome, man. I mean, yeah, so far this conversation is like, if I had to describe it in like one word, just like, moments in life of, it's just crazy and how it leads you where you are. All of this eventually led up to your wedding. Do you have any, like, the day before, the day of, looking back, just from last week, did you have any specific feelings about your state of mind that day? Were you nervous? Were you just super excited? Was it like all fogged over because of everything going so fast?
The morning of, I was just ready to get the day going, because you put in all the work, especially Halle. She put in so much work. And I guess you just want to get to the part where it's like, all this is going to pay off. It's all going to be worth it.
Yeah.
So I remember in the morning, it's like, I wanted to, enjoy hanging out with you guys. But in the back of my head, I'm still like, crap, I still need to shout. Now, obviously, I can't. It's a lot easier than what the girls have to go through.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, what was me? But it's like, I'm just ready to get this show on the road,
Yeah.
It's all the work that she put in and some of the work that I put in, minimal, but some. And I wanted to enjoy hanging out with you guys in the morning, but my brain was foggy because I was like, what else am I forgetting? What else do I need? Do I need to make sure, the shuttle's going to show up? Is the pizza at night going to show up? Is, stuff like that. And it's like, I'm ready to just get this thing started so I can start enjoying the moment that we've been working on.
Yeah. With your mind racing that morning, do you feel like you end up embracing the moment later in the day?
Oh, it was like, as soon as we got there, I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's freaking go. Yeah, for sure. It was, and it helped that we all were just chilling in the tent and just talking. Rodney was there, got to talk to him. And then once the photographers got there and, we're like, all right, let's, get your jacket on and stuff. And that's kind of, when the day started, it's all right, it's go time.
That's awesome.
And honestly, it's kind of like all the stuff that you're worried about just go to just kind of disappear out of your head, really. And then it's just focus on, the fun times ahead of you and just try and take it in as much as possible. And that's what I tried to do. And it was still hard. Yeah. It still just went so fast, but even in the middle of, as I was speaking, I was just trying to enjoy the moment. As we were dancing, I'm trying to enjoy the moment, or just talking to people. It's like, look around, take it in, whatever you got to do. Yeah, but it still went fast.
And that, I was just saying, and then like that blink of an eye, and then it's like the night's over. I mean,
the whole week went so fast.
Yeah,
the entire week. We got to take a whole week off, spend it with our friends and family, and it still flew by.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were busy enough that we didn't get to meet up after that. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't able to meet up with many people, but spent a lot of time with our immediate family.
Yeah, so hell yeah, which is awesome. And that's like, I don't want to intrude on that, and see your family. 100% enjoy that. We, on our last day, we ventured up to Sedona, and we did some hiking up there. And then we saw some of my family that was out in Arizona because it was Thanksgiving. So we stopped there, then we flew back to Ohio. And I thought the same thing. You know, we were out in Arizona for 7 days and went by like that. And
It's crazy.
And I know how weddings go. Ours, my perspective was the same way in our day. Just ready to get to the, you know, the actual events, and then after that it was just, you know, seemed like it was done in a second.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
I mean, yeah, it does. Even if you're in somebody's wedding, the whole day just flies.
Yeah,
flies by.
Yeah, and it was awesome, man. We had fun, danced, talked to people, talked to a lot of, you know, it was just cool seeing everybody out there that I haven't talked to in a while either. And then it was like a little surreal, like, man, I haven't talked to some of these people in a long time, and we're talking in Arizona. You know, like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, why are all of us out here right now? And it was cool. And it was an awesome wedding.
That is crazy.
How do you feel now that you're married? Is the relief? Is it back to, you feel the same way now? You know, not much has changed.
On to the next thing. We're on to the next thing.
Kids already, huh? Just like that, huh?
Oh, it doesn't have to be kids. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It's on to the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah. You won't know what the next big thing is until it happens.
Yeah. So it's live in the moment, but also don't be an idiot. Still plan for, whatever's ahead.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Trying to play that balance, toe that line.
100%. That's just navigating life. That's how it goes. I got one big question, and then we can wrap this bad boy up.
We got.
It's like I said, this is another big moment for you. I like doing these conversations because it's a documentation of your life. It stems back to, how you might, this conversation, some of your family might be indirectly affected by watching this or being inspired by your guys' actions for who knows how long, because these things can live on forever in the digital world.
Maybe.
So to wrap this round 2 of the podcast up, is there anything that you would like to just say to Halle directly, or your friends or family, for this state of your life?
I owe it all to them, for sure. I mean, the people that have impacted me, Halle loves me. That's a blessing. I'm a goofball. But all the love and support from all my family and friends, her support in moving out here. I mean, it is fun. Was it all easy? No. I mean, it's still stressful. You're quitting your job. You got to make sure that you have enough money while you look for the next job, all that kind of stuff. And, I mean, she keeps me steady. We always know that if shit hits the fan, we can just move back into the basement in Ohio.
100%. And hopefully, all I'm asking is that there's another bed, and I'm joining you guys. And
yeah. You just sell all your shit, go back home.
Yep. And that's I know that's a joke, but it's true.
Yeah.
And we're very fortunate to have the home life and families that we have, where you can take risks, and you do know that you do have that support structure from family and friends that, if it does get tough, you always got somewhere to go, and not everybody has that. And that's super awesome that we do.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I always, I try not to take that for granted, just how lucky we are with, the support group that we have. I mean, any of our friends, they would be willing to help any way possible. I mean, Doesn't matter what it would be. If I was in the Mexican jail, pretty sure Brooks Hall would be coming through the border, or Troy Lucius. They figure out a way to get me out. Maybe. Don't know if it worked, but they tried.
You're just putting this message out there just in case if I end up in the Mexican jail.
Yeah.
It's out there, right? You guys can come help me.
Just put it out there.
Hell yeah, man. And on that note, I have a confession to make.
Ooh.
This is a podcast. I'm putting it out as an official podcast, but I've disguised this intention for something else that I'm working on.
Ooh, what are you working on?
I was hoping that this was going to be a surprise, but I've came to the point in the project where I couldn't make it a surprise anymore, and I needed to break it to you. So I figured I'd break it to you at the end of this podcast. I've made this, I wanted to do this conversation because I am putting together the documentary of Alex Acree. I'm making a whole documentary on your life, man. And
you got a lot of footage.
I've got so much stuff, and I wanted to put some of your perspective in it. So I'm putting this out as a whole piece as well, just as a normal podcast. But my plan is to cut this up and
piece it together
and use sections for the documentary as well.
Awesome.
I got a ton of family and of your family and friends, and we did 14 interviews, and it's all in there.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this has been a project.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's way more expensive than I thought.
Yeah, no, dude, this thing is legit. But I had to break it to you. I was so wanting to do this as a surprise for the wedding present was the plan, but it turned into this monster of a project that I've been working on. And then I needed your help because I was I know Alex has an archival of tons of photos and videos, and I didn't want to finish it without at least you giving your input of sending me, hey dude, if you can send me all the photos and videos if you got of everything, and I'm gonna try to put them in there if that's cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah,
I got a big old hard drive full of old stuff.
Hell yeah, man. And like I said, I wanted it to be a surprise to give the final product, and it just man, I went too far deep into this thing to not get additional footage from you too. And I didn't know how to ask for it without breaking the news to you.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So,
damn.
Yeah.
I am flattered. I think it's the right word. I would have never guessed you have interviews. I guess you have so much footage. I was oh yeah, you can just pull together all your footage, but
yeah,
14 some interviews.
Yeah, we got 14 people that recorded stuff for it. Chris has been helping out. I took all of your guys' home videos. I converted all of your home videos to digital. Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, dude. I wrote down the script. I have a bunch of narration. There's a whole story structure set up to it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So
this is gonna be good.
Yeah. I don't know the total length, the runtime yet now, because I got to pull it apart and put some of these clips into it. Is the plan from this conversation, but I'm thinking, I don't know, every bit of 30-40 minutes is gonna be the total runtime. Yeah. And it's the life and times of Alex Acree. It's good. I'm stoked for it.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's going to be wild.
Yeah. I've been watching the draft as I'm editing it here at nighttime, and I'm really happy with how it's coming out, but all I think is dude, this is going to be crazy for you to watch, man, and I'm stoked for you to watch it because it's your life unfolding in a documentary, so it's cool.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. So,
Man,
yep,
that's gonna be awesome.
this is the last component of it, and I just wanted to break the news for this conversation, and then
Woo-hoo.
that's it. All right, 1 second. Stay on. Oh, this is the end of the podcast. You have anything else to say?
Bye, everybody. Love you.
Okay. All right, man. Stay on. Let's just chat for a second. I'm gonna stop recording. Thank you, beautiful people. Everybody who's made it to the end of the podcast. You are truly incredible. Seriously, thank you for the support. Please, please, please go check out the documentary on YouTube. I've spent months working on this project, and honestly, I'm so happy with the outcome. It is out now. Paper Mountains with Jacob Welly on YouTube.com. Go to YouTube and watch it. Please support it. Please check it out. It's super fun. I would love to make more of these. I have some ideas for other deeper dive documentary podcast style videos on this channel. So subscribe there. Subscribe wherever you listen to these extended interview podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Amazon. I've got more projects in the works. I love you all. Thank you.